Hi, welcome back to another episode of Arguably Correct. I'm Lindsay, and I have some good stories today. So let's get right into it. I kind of bounced all around. I didn't really stay in one place. So let's see. The first story we have today is Would I Be the Asshole? I love these. Would I be the asshole if I intentionally wake my sister and her toddler up in the middle of the night so she knows how it feels? My sister lives at home with me and our parents. She has a 2-year-old. For the past couple of weeks, I've been woken up every single morning by them. It's either my niece screaming, crying, or shouting. My sister makes zero effort to quiet her down. Sometimes she even lets her stand right outside my door saying my name over and over because she knows it's my room. My room isn't even on the same floor as theirs. She just lets her climb a whole flight of stairs without paying attention, and then 5 minutes later realizes she's gone and then comes to get her. On top of that, my sister plays music really loud in the kitchen in the morning, which I can also hear from my room. She has no consideration for anyone else in the house. She doesn't think about the fact that she's waking people up constantly. I've told my mom about it, and all she says is, "That's not good," then does nothing. Nobody cares. This has been ongoing for weeks. I'm honestly fed up. I want her to know how it feels. So I'm thinking about making a ton of noise in the middle of the night to wake her up. It would probably be worse for her because her daughter would wake up too. And maybe if I do it once or twice, she'll actually start being more considerate in the morning. Would I be the asshole if I did this? Um, yeah, you would be because you'd probably be waking and disturbing other people in the house. I mean, and also I don't think that this is just like the best solution. Might be like the most satisfying one. I could probably see that. But I'm gonna say no. And then also when you wake the kid up, you're gonna have to listen to the kid too. So then you're kind of just punishing yourself as well. So I'm gonna say I wouldn't call you an asshole. If you did it, it'd be funny, but there's definitely better. So no, I'm just kidding. You really can't do that. That you would be the asshole. And there's definitely better ways to solve this problem. Let's see what anybody else in the comments says if someone has a solution. I would open the door and firmly tell the child to go wake up mom. It's okay to be stern auntie. Oh, that's not fun though. No one wants to be stern auntie. Aunts are supposed to be fun. We don't want to you don't want to do that. Someone said, how early are we talking? There's a huge difference between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. That's true. We don't know. Okay, moving on. This is from the Best of Redditor updates, so you know it's going to be good. My 36 female husband, 41 male, got fired for harassing a coworker and won't talk to me about it. Okay, the original post was posted April 2nd, 2018. My husband Charlie and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. We've had our ups and downs, but are currently in an up. He has never done anything like this in the past, so it came out of left field for me, and I'm very much shocked and at a loss here. Charlie is a computer programmer and was a senior engineer at his former company, where he had worked for 4 years. He'd never had any trouble with coworkers and were both friendly with a few of them, mostly other men and their wives. On Friday of last week, he came home around 11 a.m. and he told me he'd been fired. He was really upset and agitated, and I didn't want to push him about it, but he told me that they'd said he was harassing a coworker and was fired. The information I've been able to get out of him. The coworker is Beth, a junior engineer who he's never mentioned to me before. He said she's terrible at her job. Beth slept with a senior engineer. We are both friendly with Darren. Darren wasn't involved in the harassment, wasn't fired, etc. The company's lawyers were there, and among the things they told him was that Beth could have pressed charges but chose not to. Something happened with the car, but he won't say that. His exact words were, there was something with her car. Helpful. He was escorted off the premises and is not allowed back in the building to get his belongings, and instead has to arrange with security to pick them up after business hours. Okay. As far as anything else goes, he won't give me any details. He isn't interested in seeing a lawyer because he says everything is legal. Doesn't sound like it's legal. He has basically admitted to sending Beth some emails, but won't say what they said or anything like that. I don't know if Beth sleeping with Darren had to do with it, but the fact that he gave me that detail makes me think it does. I'm not sure how it relates. Darren is a very nice single man who is in his late 20s and approximately the same age as Beth. My mind is running wild here. Charlie has been depressed and withdrawn all weekend, won't talk to me about it, and won't talk much in general. I work remotely, so I was home all day with him, and he played video games all day and then went to bed at 6 p.m. The fact that he won't tell me anything and isn't interested in seeing a lawyer makes me think that it's bad and makes me worry that everything is true and not just a misunderstanding or a small thing blown out of proportion. He has never been flirtatious with other women or cruel to them, and he's never said anything bad about women engineers he works with. I don't know what to do here. My instinct is to be supportive of my husband, but I don't know what kind of behavior I'd be supporting. I don't want to run to his coworkers we know and ask them since they are more our friends than my friends. And while we spend time together at get-togethers or bars, I'm not close with them. In an immediate sense, I don't know what to do about helping someone who is so depressed and won't talk to me. I need to know, what did this man do? And to just get fired, like, how did something not lead up to this for weeks or what, months, and you don't come home from work like pissed off and vent to your wife about it? Or that's interesting, I'd say. So I mean, if he there and like no sign of like an affair or anything, like I'm now my true crime brain is going a little bit here, but doesn't sound like she probably would have seen some more signs about that. Okay, let's read the update. We have an update from the next day. My thread was locked before I was able to respond to any of the comments, but I was able to read them this morning. I got up at 5:30 to go to the gym before work, and my husband was still awake playing video games. I presented him with the very good idea someone suggested of sending me an email with the details, but that it wasn't acceptable to shut me out of this situation since it affects me too. His response was basically, the paperwork is in my car, go get it if you want to read it. I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together, and he said, you're going to believe what you want anyway. All of this is unusual for our marriage because I'm a pretty patient person, I think. We went out to the car together, and he got in his car, handed me papers, and left. So, the paperwork. According to the paperwork, he sent her multiple harassing emails from anonymous email accounts. The emails are printed out and attached. He apparently did this while at work, and they had been monitoring his user account for 3 months. What an idiot. The emails aren't sexual or romantic in nature and are all anonymous and about how she sucks at her job, wouldn't be there if she wasn't a woman, how she should quit before she gets fired, and how everyone in the office hates her. He made fake user accounts for his company's product that she works on and submitted bad reviews of her work. He also did this while logged in at work. He sent an anonymous email to her boss saying that she was sleeping with a senior engineer on another project. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company autofilled with his name and address. Like, he's so dumb. I mean, I guess good, but she also says she has been harassed for the same length of time, about 3 months on Twitter. He only logged into one Twitter account that harassed her at work, so they can only say one was him, all telling her to quit her job. So I don't know what to do now. This is all terrifying to me, and I feel so bad for this woman. I have no idea what this is all about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers who don't pull their weight, and he has never done anything like this. I would have bet $1,000,000 that he'd never do anything like this. He's at his parents' house right now, and I don't know what my next move here could possibly be. This is so scary and out of left field to me. I forgot to mention this paperwork is copied from the original and was signed by both him and his company. I don't know if that's a full admission, but it seems damning either way. Like, he's unhinged. Like, and listen, it's all crazy, obviously, but the leaving the catalog on her car window, that's where I'm like, okay, this is gonna be an episode of something like Snapped. For the wife, it's gonna be on that show, Who Did I Marry? Because yeah, people are like, he needs serious therapy. What you described is absolutely abhorrent behavior. Duh. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. Weird. How do you like get past that? I would be like, we need to figure something out here because now I'm creeped out by you. I have the ick and you need to leave. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think there was any further updates on that. Let's just be sure though. All right. Well, hopefully she figures that out because that sounds terrible. Okay. Moving on. This one's crazy. My 29 female, husband 31 male, got a paternity test on our daughter 5 female, and it came back negative, but I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants a divorce. What do I do? And update. This was posted 3 years ago by Fully Faithful Wife. I don't know how it happened, and I haven't been able to stop crying all day. I never cheated. I love my husband. We've been together since college, and he's the love of my life. He's handsome and kind, and while I've slept with 2 other people, both were before we got together. There is no other potential father for our daughter. We were married already and actively trying for a baby. I never cheated. I never would cheat, and I don't know why he took that stupid test because I would never ever cheat, but it came back negative, and now he thinks he's not her dad. I don't know how to convince him it was a faulty test, and I'm so scared. Okay. These past few months, it's like he's become someone completely different from the man I married. He's cold and suspicious. He kept demanding to see my phone and wouldn't tell me why. And I showed him at first, but eventually told him I wouldn't anymore unless he explained why. He's been distant with our daughter, too. He stays in his office for hours on end, and I don't know what he's doing. I did not cheat. He accused me this morning, saying he'd done the test after realizing that our daughter's eyes, brown, wouldn't naturally come from ours, both blue. And that he wanted me to get out of the house. I didn't leave, and he locked me out of our bedroom, and now I'm in my daughter's room. This is terrifying. That's crazy. Because, like, he has a point, and she does also. She's convicted, like, very, wow. Okay. I don't even have words. Let's just keep reading. What should I do? Edit. The specific advice I want is how I can prove I'm innocent and how to make sure this relationship works. I want to keep my family together at all costs. Also, I just had a conversation with my husband. He's out of his room now, and we discussed some things. I told him again that I would never cheat and started talking about a list I made of tests I want done, but he told me that he didn't want to hear it right now. We're going to have a longer conversation tomorrow, and he said that he still loves our daughter and he won't try to keep me out of the house or our room for now. I asked him to hug me and he did. I'm scared that I won't be able to convince him. I just want our family to go back to normal. How can I be a good wife and support his needs while proving my innocence? Okay. One, he needs to have some trust. Like, what happened? What sparked? I guess he just decided, yeah, she's 5. Maybe he just decided, like, hey, her eye color. I know kids like eyes change or whatever, but I guess by 5, they're pretty solid. So maybe he just noticed it at 5. That's crazy. Okay, there's an update. Hi, everyone. First off, I want to thank everyone who reached out. My original post got so much attention. It was hard to get to everything, but I ended up making a list of plans and tests I wanted to get done. My husband was understandably distrustful of me for a while, but he apologized for the way he acted, which I didn't need, and said that he wouldn't try to kick me out of our home. He did say, though, that if every test came back and I cheated, that he was going to go scorched earth. Fair in this scenario. We did a few tests, blood paternity tests for him and me and our daughter, and we had an appointment with the specialist coming up. But that got canceled, well, because some of you guessed it, but my daughter is not biologically mine either. I don't know how this happened, but a police officer came to our house and took our statements, and we're suing the hospital where I gave birth. I don't know what happened to my baby, and that is terrifying. I have my husband back, but my whole world was upended. And I just wish he'd never taken that stupid test. I've been sleeping in my daughter's room, and I'm so afraid that she's going to be taken away from me. But at the same time, I want to know where my biological daughter is, and if she's okay. I pray to God she's okay. My daughter still doesn't know the details, and we've been trying to keep this quiet. The last thing we need is a big scandal. I don't want people who know us to look at her differently. She deserves better than that. She's such a good kid, and she's not some spectacle to be gawked at. If we can find her birth family, I have no idea what we'll do. I guess the best case scenario would be to get a bigger house and all live together, but I don't know if we can afford that or if they'd go for that, or even if we'll be able to locate them or if I'm just crazy. This whole situation is crazy. I really didn't see that coming. I thought she was lying. I don't know anyone else who's been in a situation like this. I mean, are there support groups for parents of kids who got mixed up? I Googled and nothing came up. Literally all I'm getting are tabloid articles from trashy magazines that slap the faces of innocent kids on the same pages as celebrity sex scandals and fiction. How do we tell our daughter? I mean, we can't tell her now. She'll tell the kids at school and then it'll be everywhere, but we have to say something. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this. Well, I'm sure you did nothing to deserve this. I'm not really sure that that's a thing. She's 5, though. That's what you meant by you're gonna wait like a while, like you just mean in the future, because what a nightmare. Let's see what some of the comments say, like if anybody else has experiences with this, because this is crazy. I mean, and then it says that she took this post over to the r/legal advice Reddit threads because she obviously, first of all, I mean, Reddit is not the place. I don't know why she's on Reddit. She needs to be on the phone with a lawyer. Several, maybe. This is why when my daughter was born 4 months ago, me, my wife, and the baby each had matching bracelets put on by the hospital immediately. The baby actually had 3, one tied to her medical records for medication and 2 identifying ones, one on the wrist and one on the leg. She also never left the room without one of us. Hospital took this very seriously. So-called switched at birth. Drama, not a true story. This is what happens in that. I never saw that. I feel like I've heard of that show, but I never saw it. Moving on. Am I overreacting? Mother-in-law poisoned our yard. This was posted 7 days ago. I'm so upset. I've been telling my husband and my mother-in-law, who stays here sometimes, that I wanted to try an organic garden. I was also excited for the grass and natural weeds to come back because I feed it to my tortoises. My mother-in-law knows this, as I've mentioned it more than a few times. I was so excited for the warm weather so my tortoises could go outside and roam around and graze. I was so excited to have an organic garden to feed my family. I was also really excited to see the pollinators coming back. We were seeing honeybees, bumblebees, butterflies. She came to stay for a couple of nights, and at some point she went outside in the night before she left and sprinkled weed killer powder on literally everything. Everything. My yard was perfectly fine. The organic aspect of my garden was gone. The ability to safely let my tortoises out to graze was now gone. Pollinators probably also gone. I'm so sad about this. My husband said he'd talk to her, and I trust that he will. But telling her not to do it again won't fix the damage already done. Who goes out in the night to poison someone else's yard? Like, actually, who the F does that? Edit to Ed, we do already have a kid, a 3-year-old son, and a dog. The majority of what she poisoned is what most people consider weeds: chickweed, dead nettle, henbit, dandelions, etc. But she definitely also got some of it in the grass/plants. I don't know if the grass and plants were intentional, but intention doesn't save my grass or plants. I did go outside and pull up everything that I could see the poison on. I know that's not really good enough, but it's all I could do for now. She is known for doing weird things and thoughtless things, but it's not usually harmful. Luckily, my tortoises are still small enough to have indoor closures, but still, it's really good for them to go outside and graze, and now they can't. My husband knows how she is, and he is 100% on my side. When he says he will talk to her, he will. Well, that's good. I'm glad. She brought it there? So, like, because that's not something that I carry I carry a lot of weird things in my purse at all times. This is not one of them. So that's interesting. Why are you bringing poison in my house with I have a child and a dog? Like, that's just irresponsible. And I understand your husband's going to talk to her, but that's not good enough for me. Like, I'm going to also have a talk with her because that's insane. You don't do that. You don't do things like this. People really do weird things at people's houses. You can't, like, you got to nip that in the bud, because to feel that entitled to do that to someone else's house is crazy. Am I overreacting for getting mad at my friend for not respecting my time? Throwaway and fake names. Apologies in advance for any grammar errors. Oh, this was posted 23 hours ago. Okay. Start off. I hate people being late. I think it's incredibly rude to not care about other people's time. I understand emergencies happen, but when someone is habitually late, then it's a choice. So I, 26 female, have a close friend, 25 female, named Sarah. A few months ago, Sarah began dating Adam, and our friend group have noticed that she's been acting increasingly entitled and demanding. We call it the princess syndrome. For example, we'll be at dinner, and if Adam says something that Sarah doesn't like/agree with, she'll get upset, start pouting, and talks in a baby voice until Adam gives in. Yuck. It's incredibly awkward to be around them when this happens. Sarah and I have a group of 8 close friends from university. Each week we take turns choosing a restaurant for dinner so we can catch up with each other. Wow, each week. Recently, Sarah has been missing our get together, which isn't a problem, except she told me privately that she didn't like the restaurant choices and the others wouldn't agree to go with her pick, so she decided not to join us. I told her I thought it was such a non-issue considering she would get to pick the restaurant when it was her turn. She got mad at me and we didn't talk for a week. Besides the baby talk and princess syndrome, Sarah has recently been either very late to our hangouts or have just no-showed on me entirely. Her reasoning always includes her being tired from work and taking a nap and forgetting about the time. I let it go because she didn't do it on purpose, but I have repeatedly told her I don't appreciate having my time wasted. I have actually started showing up 10 to 15 minutes late to match her time and just waiting in my car until she shows up. This past Saturday, Sarah asked me to meet for lunch at 2 p.m. This restaurant was kind of far for me, and I ended up arriving on time at 2 p.m. and texted her to let her know I've arrived. Around 2:15, I texted her again asking for her ETA, and she texted me back to let me know she and Adam were already inside and they already started eating appetizers. I wasn't aware that Adam was also coming, so I called and asked her when they had arrived. Apparently, they had got there around 1:55 p.m. because they were hungry. I was annoyed that the only time she is early/on time was because she was hungry. I told her it would have been nice to know so I wasn't just sitting here waiting. Sarah said she doesn't see what the problem was since I was usually late too. I lost my crap. I told her I'm not the one who shows up 15 minutes late to everything without a single apology and expects everyone to be grateful she showed up. I told her, unlike Adam, we don't have to cater to her every demand, and I was tired of her acting like our time was worth nothing. I told her not to talk to me until she understands why I was upset, and then I went home. I didn't tell any of our friends about this, but Sarah sure did. Unfortunately for her, no one was on her side, and they all individually called her out on her entitled behavior. Apparently, our mutual friend said Sarah had a small breakdown on Instagram and spam posted about people being jealous that her boyfriend dotes on her and a bunch of cryptic quotes. I don't use Instagram, so I don't know what she said. Sarah texted me on Sunday to say she doesn't understand why I made such a big deal out of nothing. I left her on red since it wasn't an apology, and she still won't take accountability. Later, Adam texted me and said I overreacted and Sarah is distressed. He demanded, LOL, that I tell our friend group that it was a misunderstanding and apologize to Sarah to make things right. Am I overreacting for getting upset? No. At 25 and 26, I'm too old for this, respectfully. I gotta go. I can't entertain this kind of stuff. Literally. Like, sounds immature and inconsiderate. Outgrow this childish behavior. You're describing there's always the armchair therapist on Reddit. You're describing a personality disorder, not a friend. I don't know about that, but I don't want to be friends. This person cannot be in my circle. You need to see yourself out. That's crazy. People are really entitled, and I love reading about them on Reddit. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Arguably Correct. Stay tuned for more because there will be more. I was going to say next week, but probably sooner than that. So, okay, see ya.